Hello. Let me know if that actually works. And then, what's up, Rack? How you doing? Noah, go to bed. All right. See? Typical mass aquariums, folks. Dilly dilly to all watching. And Nate is also here, my other son. Both of you guys get off my live stream now. And my wife's texting me. How's everybody doing tonight? Dilly dilly, folks. Rachel's here. I gotta figure out how to invite her so she can come in the chat. She's up doing nothing like the rest of us that are watching Mass Aquariums fool around with his computer. Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate that. Yes, it was about time. And there's my partner in crime, Mr. Gregory Jones, who is also always welcome to come on the chat. He never comes on my live streams. Hey, T. Oh, I gotta move that over like just a tad. There we go. Yeah, Dave, Rachel's a night owl too, it seems like. Oh, snap. HHBT3B says his Vikings are playing the Pats tomorrow. Of course they are, at home. I'll be watching. Let me see if I can get Rachel in here. Hopefully my boys are off the live stream. I mean, not that we ever talk about anything besides fish, which is fun. Hey, Julian. Hey, Bri, what's up, buddy? Yes, Brian. So I met Brian at Aquatic Experience. I've been watching his channel forever, even since before I had a YouTube channel. I finally get to, chat with him for 5 or 10 minutes. Brian is a Vikings fan. I obviously know where he lives, and he's got this gorgeous lake he visits during the summer. I've just been aware that he does not ice fish, which is unfortunate because he lives in the Great North. But yeah, Bri, you Vikings, they're going to lose tomorrow. Diggs hasn't even practiced all week. Greg's drinking Founders IPA, and it makes cleaning the fish room fun. Yes, it does. Dilly dilly. Beer makes doing any sort of fish keeping thing fun, doesn't it? All right. It's Saturday night. I have been absolutely lazy all day. Well, I shouldn't say lazy. I did a bunch of stuff in the morning, but since then, since the morning time, I've been sweatpantsed and fleeced, fire, and have been sitting around doing just about nothing. My wife took my daughter to her first sleepover at my cousin's and her daughter's, so that went well. Then Sarah went to work, and I've been sitting on the recliner doing absolutely nothing for 4 hours besides staring at the TV and the fire, which is awesome. But it's time to go live. Oh, that's awesome, Alex. Dave, I have not gotten it yet. Couple days. I'm leasing this one, so it's gonna be like probably Tuesday or Wednesday because they got a whole new registration, license plates, the works, all that crap. River Life's got the Green Man IPA. Wayfarer, perfect. Dilly dilly for that. Greg, I got all the boxes made, son. Done. Did it last night. Last night I split a ton of kindling, and I made all however many hundred of my aquarium boxes we're sending out. The pallets are full of made boxes. What's up, Aqua Balls? I love that name for some reason. Super funny. Rachel is the bourbon girl. Are my kids still in the thread? I would love to know that. Who has some fish questions? I always say, if the chat starts flying and I don't see it, just leave a super chat with your question. It literally only has to be like 50 cents or $1 or whatever it is, and it'll pop right up like super bright, and I'll see it if you have an important question that you do not want to see missed. Other than that, no need to super chat. Let's just hang on a Saturday night. Big fan. Any pointers for a new fish tank owner? I have a 25-gallon and want to add cardinals and cories with a few plants and an aquaclear 50. Wanted your opinion on the quality of fish. 25 gallons, super odd for a tank. I've never actually had a 25 gallon. I would go with an aquaclear 70, unless you already bought the 50. Keep the 50, and yeah, a school of, say, like, I don't know, 15 cardinals and like 6 to 12 cories would be perfect for that tank. Add the plants, suck up those nitrates. What's up, fishy snowman in his house? I texted Sean. I just texted Sean because I texted Rachel. I should text Sean, see if he can come on. I thought I texted him. Didn't I text this? Sean is super bad at getting back to any texts. Sometimes it takes days. But if we could get everybody on, that'd be sweet. Text, sent, boom. Job done. Rotsa says, Rummy Nose Tetras on one of your videos and picked up 8 today. Very cool. Yep, I love the Rummy Nose. Super awesome. One of my favorite fish, for sure. River Life's been, yes, as retired as always. The 70 and the 50, I don't see any different. Yep, I just texted him, Rach. Steven, I am in Massachusetts. Southern Mass. Kevin is from the UK. What's the best salinity for a coral and fish reef tank? Anywhere between like 1.024 to 1.026, I think, is where it's acceptable. I mean, that's what I keep my salinity at, like 1.025. If that's like the perfect thing, then yeah, definitely that. I feed my fish my Aquarium Box flake and pellet. Love it. Visit my Aquarium Box, shop.myaquariumbox.com. Get tons and tons of food. Greg Jones makes all the food, packages it like the works, nonstop. This guy's a maniac. He just keeps going and going and going and cranking out the best My Aquarium Box stuff. Oh, Jesus. There we go. I got too relaxed. Started sliding over. All right, let's see what can I do on this thing. How do I invite people? Let's go. There we go. All right. I invited Rachel. Sean, Greg, come on if you want. I'll invite you guys. We'll have a big party. We'll have a big Google Hangout Saturday night fish dorky party. Mass, any plans to make a subscription available? So we did try to, well, we've been talking to a few people in Canada, but we can't ship it to Canada because it just costs way too much money. You're not going to spend, $100 for like a $50 box. And then once it goes across the border, it's just like a nightmare with liquids and different types of food. Even though Canada is literally like there, it's still international. So made a really cheap refugium for my Pico tank. Do you recommend any other? No. I mean that's good. Just refugium, Chaeto, some pods. Um, maybe mangroves. We actually shipped out mangroves in one of our last my aquarium box, which was awesome. I've put them in all my tanks, all my freshwater, and well, besides this one, my freshwater downstairs and my 2 saltwater downstairs, and the roots are like growing way crazier in the saltwater. The freshwater, they're like just popping out. The saltwater, they're like already like 2 or 3 inches. It's pretty crazy. Alex, I would definitely get a male and a female, or all females and 1 male. If you get more males, I mean, I'm not a super expert on apistos, but fish in general, uh, get a bunch of males and 1 female, so the males aren't fighting. Yeah, T, do it. Beef heart flakes, one of my favorite. Egg yolk, love that one. Yeah, evaporation is always a problem. If you can have glass tops, dilly dilly. If you can have glass tops, or the top of the tank covered up, for sure will cut back on evaporation. Saltwater, freshwater, the works. I have open tanks, and I top off my open tanks very regularly. This 40 has a glass top, and I never top it off, like talking weeks and months, and it just doesn't evaporate. What's up, Naked Reefer? Mr. Seed is doing great. Actually, I just topped off that tank upstairs because even though it's covered, it's still evaporating through that hole where the light comes in.
Hey!
Did it happen? Or do I have to send again?
I think I figured it out.
All right, I'm closing. All right, yeah. Rachel has figured out how to work the link. So that means I did something right too. We're on live.
But I don't have the chat. That means I have to do more work.
Yeah, you have to figure that out. It takes me a good 5 minutes before
God,
I even figure out how everything's happening here.
That means I probably need to.
Justin says, what kind of filter system do you recommend for a 60-gallon? I would go with a canister filter. I love the Fluval 406s, or you can go with like an FX4 and FX6. Those are awesome filters for that size tank, for sure.
I figured
Cheers.
it out.
Rachel's figured it out. Cheers, girl. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. All right.
Oh.
So who has questions? What can we talk about? What's happening? Pardon my pajamas.
Yeah. So I look like I'm ready to go to a soccer match or something, or a football game, but in reality, I've been sitting in my chair for like a good 6 to 8 hours doing absolutely nothing besides enjoying a fire and watching my boy Zeb, who Rachel knows. Let's talk about that. Who else here knows?
I mean, that's kind of weird. I met him at a fish convention in 2011. He was a speaker at an event that I was speaking at also. So, it is what it is.
And I bet all 66 people watching will have no clue who Zeb is anyway. So we're all good.
Well, I mean, they should if they're interested in fish, because he's one of the biggest advocates for conservation in the mainstream. So it's kind of neat.
When you were at AE, did you meet Brian from Brian's Fish Tanks?
I don't know.
He's about our age. Anyway, he has a giant fish room, all sorts of literally, like it must take him like a week just to like do any type of maintenance. And he's very normal guy. He's a good guy. He's in here tonight. Brian's Fish Tanks.
I hope I did, but here's the thing, like my capacity for remembering human beings' names goes down dramatically in relationship to my ability to remember fish names.
Yeah.
So unless like I'm really bad with people and I'm so sorry. I used to put Latin names like fish names to people in order to remember who they were, but I gave up on that because it just always is a problem.
Well, I have the absolute one of my worst pet peeves is when I'm introduced to someone, I never remember their names. So like, hey, how you doing? Okay. And I could talk to them for 10 minutes and then they walk away and it's like, what'd you think of Dan? I was like, who's Dan? I have no clue. I can never remember anybody's name. Awful pet peeve. But this guy I've watched for years on YouTube, and oh,
Here's the
Greg
thing,
wants
I'm
Greg wants to
confident.
make a Latin name for me.
Mass fish holius.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great one.
I guarantee I would remember a conversation, but like when people ask me if I remember such and such a name, I'm not that good at it. And I try really hard and I feel really bad, but I travel so much and I meet so many people. Like it gets, it's not really a very good excuse. And I feel awful about it every time.
Yeah, you need flashcards of somebody's face and name, and then you just
Well,
like need to review them
I mean,
on
the
like
thing
a
is,
bi-yearly rate.
I'm
Rate.
one, I'm one of a handful of women mixed in with thousands of men.
True. There is a lot. I mean, it seems to be manly dominated fish group, fish hobbyists, but I think it's like a weird niche hobby where like it brings everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody has hobbies that like knitting and then like this and that, and it brings all people together that like knitting and that like bird watching and like this and like that. So it's cool,
Yeah, absolutely.
but I think it's just society in general anyway, Rach. I mean, it's just the way it is. It sucks.
Well, I don't try and be a jerk. I just play one
Well,
on TV.
there you go. Just a guy. I'm just a guy. I love CJ. He's like, I'm just a guy with the phone. I just press record. Alex Osuna has a question for you.
Yeah, I was seeing that about the epistogrammas. The growth rate depends a lot on how often you're water changing, what you're feeding, and what the temperature is. So there's not like a standard answer to that. I would say if you're trying to grow out epistos, keep them at about 80 degrees, feed them at least 2 times a day, and water change frequently. And then you'll get them to breeding size faster.
So here's also an interesting topic. Since I was stuck in front of the TV all day, educating myself with Zeb. In Germany, they had this huge grow out tank for this certain type of catfish, and the parameters were warm water and obviously fed a lot, because what they were saying was fish grow faster, they grow bigger, and they grow stronger when they're fed a lot in warm water as opposed to colder water, which slows down their metabolism. And I was fascinated by it. Do you think that is the way with your normal like fish keepers fish?
100%. 100%.
Like your African cichlids, if you crank that temperature up and get it nice and warm, it's going to induce breeding. Whereas like I've heard that like some South American fish, like one of my favorite fish, the angelfish, gets the rains coming and that induces breeding. So if you do big water changes with like cooler water, that will induce angels to breed. And I was just fascinated by that all day.
Well, yeah, I mean, what you're doing there is you're mimicking the difference between the wet and dry season, but no matter what, if you crank up your temperature on a fish, it's going to accelerate their lifespan as well as their breeding behavior. For some fish, this is fine. For some fish, it means they think they're dying and they're going to breed. But there's a lot of different strategies for inducing spawning. I mean, you can, basically fast your fish for a while. You can let your tank evaporate for a while, then do a big water change. You can do temperature variables. There's all sorts of things you can do to induce spawning. And what I really recommend to people is before you mess with any of that, is that you sort of understand the climate where your fish come from. And if you have even an inkling of a clue, you can look at the histographs of the climate in that area. And what that means is it's sort of the seasonal shift of temperature. And generally speaking, if you look around enough, you can find out when they spawn. If they're continuous spawning, generally that means that the temperatures are pretty stable. If they're a seasonal spawner, then that means there's some sort of trigger, be it spring rains or a dry season or whatever. And usually looking into those things can give us really good clues as to how to feed or how to water change in order to manipulate the environment in our aquarium to sort of mimic, at least by a little bit of a degree, that natural environment.
That is a fascinating topic, and I've been horrible for 30 years. I have never tried to breed fish purposely, but I've also never had fish just adapt to their environment that I've created for them, no matter how close it is to their actual real life environment. I have never had fish breed. I mean, platies and guppies, like live bearers pretty much breed like crazy anyway, but like a certain type of South American cichlid or like trying to breed this or that, I have not ever seen it or had any luck in that for all my years of fish keeping. It's very upsetting.
I think for me, like when I got really interested in propagating some of the more unusual plants, and not even aquarium plants, but specifically my carnivorous plants, but also when I got interested in keeping fish outdoors with my summer tubbing, I really started paying attention to the seasonal shifts that happen in the natural environment. And what I learned then is that it's very, very uncommon that fish are in stable temperatures. It's important to remember that in the wild, of course, the dilution is so large that the shift in temperature is very gradual. And that's not generally something that we would see in our smaller volume aquariums. That being said, I think that I have good success with breeding fish in my fish room because I heat the fish room. And
I lost you.
As things get colder in the fish room,
Oh no.
it's a seasonal shift. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not.
Okay, all good.
There?
Yep.
No?
It was just like 1 second.
All right. So if you're not doing something like a seasonal shift by heating the room where the environment is changing gradually, one thing that you can do is allow your tank, especially for catfish, this is really useful. Maintain a consistent temperature, but let the water line drop. Don't do your water changes. And then when you're ready to induce spawning, you feed heavily of a really protein, fat-rich food, something like bloodworms, blackworms, whatever. And then you do a large volume water change of either matching temperature or slightly cooler. And most often that will incite a massive spawn.
That's unbelievable info. I love that kind of stuff, and I have yet to be able to do that.
Try it, man. I guarantee. Especially with catfish, it will work, and often cichlids too.
Catfish was like all I watched today. This Zeb was the entire day was filled with catfish from all over the planet. And one thing that I was sitting, and even my son, my 8-year-old son, who pays attention to some stuff that I do, was like, "Dad, we've seen that catfish in an aquarium before, and it gets to like 400 pounds. Was that
the red-tail cat?
Red-tail cat.
Yeah.
And we watched a whole episode on that. He's like, I can't believe people keep those in their aquariums. Look at the size of that fish. And it's just like amazing to see. I don't know. I'm not saying like when you're a kid or little, like you have no clue, so you're just like, I want that catfish or I want this. But when you're an adult and you have to do research on like what can accommodate what, and these fish get to like 3, 4, 600 pounds.
You
Kidding
know
me?
what's do you know what's truly frustrating to me is that I mean, I must say first and foremost, I don't feel like those catfish should be sold.
Yeah, ever.
Like not in a pet store. We have to have licenses for dogs. I feel like for fish that get that large, there needs to be a better vetting system. And I know that's going to be an unpopular sentiment, but I keep fish that are going to get 3 feet long. And I would have happily, and I actually did pay a lot of money to prove that I was prepared to house them. But it's just scary to me that stuff like that can be sold to people who don't understand how big they'll get. Because usually you see something like a red tail cat, and in the, like box store, it'll say, oh, this fish requires a 75-gallon tank.
Yeah,
A
it's
full
like
a full grown
6 inches.
red tail cat is like twice the size of a 75-gallon tank.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous. It was so cool watching. I mean, I've seen all these episodes before, but I was binging on, in my living room, and just to see all these fish that in the wild grow this big that people are trying to keep in their 75-gallon tanks, which is another great topic that a lot of beginners, I love to talk about. I answer questions all the time. Is a lot of people think that if you buy a fish, that it'll stay the size of the environment that it's in, which is a complete misnomer. You cannot put a fish that gets 4 feet in a small tank and think that it will only stay the size of its aquarium.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't often get the opportunity to even get to the size of its aquarium because the amount of waste it produces makes it a toxic environment, and it dies before it even has the opportunity to get to what I would consider juvenile status.
Exactly. And it's probably not even eating a good diet at that point. If a fish has the potential to get giant, it needs protein, and you're not feeding it
And
nearly
fat.
enough. And fat. It needs a complete diet for these fish to get big. Um, I loved sitting in my recliner watching friggin' Nat Geo for 9 hours straight, probably, and learning
That's
that.
one of the good programs they do too. I'm really hoping they're making a shift back into those educational programs because they were so fun.
And even saltwater too. He was in mangroves in Florida, and all these saltwater fish that people are putting in there 40 gallons or the 75 gallons that actually get, I don't know, like 500 pounds. Groupers, all these fancy groupers that they look real cute when
Groupa.
they're like this big, but they don't realize they get to be like potentially 600 pounds. Like, why are they even buying these in fish stores?
Well, I mean, I have to say though, I am 100% guilty of owning fish that most people shouldn't. I mean, I
I
have
have been there
I
for
have an
sure.
entire tank of them. uh, but I have plans.
I put Sergeant Major damsels in my 10-gallon saltwater tank about 4 or 5 years ago. Um, they were about the size of a nickel, absolutely gorgeous, and I didn't, Google it real quick. Bought them, put them in my 10-gallon, researched them when I got home, and realized that, hey, guess what? They get to be about like twice the size of discus, like a giant plate. Anyway, that's when I figure out how you can siphon fish out of your tank into a bucket to get them out if you can't get them out. That was fun.
I mean, everything about this hobby is a steep learning curve. I don't care who you are. If you are doing this and you're not learning more things, then you're really in the wrong hobby.
Yeah. There's always huge learning curves. And it's one of the hobbies that I feel like you kill a lot of, like, it's not like you're a dog owner where like you're like, oh, I just can't get it right, or a cat owner. Oh, I've killed like 5 cats. This is the 6th cat. Or I've had like 4 dogs. I keep killing them. Like fish is when you jump into fish, it's really weird because you can kill a lot of the animals that you're trying to keep in the process.
Well, I mean, that's true, but I think that's true more because of impulsivity, not because of the nature of the pet. I think that people think of fish as disposable, and they think of them as having like not necessarily as quantifiable of feelings or sensory whatever. So they're really considered like it doesn't matter if they kill their fish. They're like, oh well, I'll flush it. Nobody flushes their kitten or their puppy. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
it's
But
just
it is at the same time almost a fruitless when you think about it. If some for beginners, it's very tough to get beginners to realize that like you can't just go set up a tank and then kill, like 50 fish before you figure out what's happening. It's difficult because it's a tiny, I don't know, it's weird. Fish are weird.
here's the thing though, that people also think about like hamsters, pocket pets, things like mice and rats and whatever in the same way. But there's an equal amount of people that really find that keeping it, or the inexpensive reptiles, they think of them the same way. So we're not alone. I just wish that in general, more human beings would think about what they're doing before they do it.
Julian
Broad
has a
spectrum.
good comment. Fish aren't really pets, in my opinion. They won't love you like a dog or a cat, but there's no need to be cruel to them.
Well, a perfect example is I raise chickens. We have backyard chickens, and we've had them for many, many years. And when we first started, we had chickens that developed some sort of like bronchial infection. And I called every single veterinarian in the phone book. Yes, I used the phone book and I Googled, and I could not find a single vet that would see my chickens because they considered them to be disposable. Because in this area that's super rural, it's mainly farmers. Like if your chickens get sick, you just kill them all and start over. But these were my pets. And I think there needs to be a greater shift to affordable care for cheap pets.
Yeah, right?
I mean, because, I may have spent $4 a bird on my chickens, but I fully expected to have them for 5+ years.
Yeah, strictly, you
Same
had.
thing with our dollar tetras from the Petco dollar a tetra sale. We expect to have them for a while.
It's very difficult to watch. I think bigger than, like, let's say, a cantaloupe. Anything bigger than a cantaloupe, you be like humanly become more attached to, as it. You think it's better than something that's tinier than that. I've had, who knows how many tetras I've had in my tank. There's probably some that have died, but I don't name them all. But if these rummy nose were like the size of, like, say, a softball, I'd probably feel a little bit different, I would say. I think that's where the chat is going.
I just
Well,
have
who
to say,
knows?
someone acknowledged my holiday sweater, so I wanted to give you guys the full benefit because I am festive AF. You're welcome.
Sean's texting me back. They're doing the Christmas tree with his daughter before she goes back to
Oh,
school. I won't text that.
dude, I cry when I think about dropping Abby at college and then Clell. So,
Then they're all gone.
yeah.
We were just talking today. as I was sitting my lazy ass in my recliner, how my youngest son will not be out of high school until I'm 54 years old,
Sucker.
which, I mean, hopefully I live like a long life. Like, I know some people like the afterlife, but I like this life, so I hope I live really long. And I hope I can start pursuing things I love more in this early stage of life before I'm old and gray and, you know, that type of shit.
The reason I laugh at him is because my youngest will be out of the house, theoretically at least, when I am just about 44.
That is super awesome. Like, you have at least 30 years
Oh.
of awesomeness before, like, you need a diaper or something. Hopefully you won't need a diaper.
Ugh. What happy thoughts you're spreading.
Oh, Paul, Long Island Fish Guy. I've been, first of all, before I ignore the chat even more, I'd like to just say I'm sorry for ignoring the chat. I'm just talking to Rachel, really. And I've been ignoring all you mofos. So I'm extremely sorry. I'd love to catch up on the chat because a lot of people have questions. Long Island Fish Guy says, Rachel, get a stingray.
I don't
Paul
have a tank for a
Doggy
stingray.
says, you guys should invite the king of DIY. Joey's
Joey's been
probably
on before.
in a storm and there's no power. He's definitely made that clear to everybody that's worrying about him. Mr. Bees says he had his young. Oh my God. So I'm 16. Oh, Harish Krishna. Hari Krishna's in the house. This guy, Harish Karanukaran. I call him Hari Krishna because that's the only way I could pronounce his name. Slim
Oh,
Tim's in the
Mike.
house. Roll Tide. Shut up, Mike. Let Rachel talk. Jamie says, okay, all right. I'll let Rachel talk because everybody wants to hear Rachel anyway, because you just can't, the volume of my, all right, go Rachel. What is Rachel? Nobody's asking her a question. You want me to shut up and have Rachel talk? You got to ask her a question to answer.
Here's what you don't understand. Last weekend, I had to take my daughter up to Amherst, and I was supposed to visit Mike, and we were supposed to do a collaboration. But I got rear-ended on the way up, and he had some kid issues, and I had some kid issues, so the dilly got ruined. So I'd encourage all of you to say dilly in commiseration now.
Dilly.
And let me know any questions you have in that chat section. Oh, you know what I just realized? I just only have it on top chat, not live chat, which might be why I'm missing things.
What's the difference? I know nothing about
One
this.
is I don't know the difference. I'm just pretending I do. But look at all those dillies.
Yep, Reefing with O is joined. What's up, O? This guy. I talked to O at Aquatic Experience. He's this handsome, deep talking giant of a man, and he'll talk your fucking ear off. That's for sure.
Someone just
For like an hour, nonstop.
my go-to drink. Someone just asked my go-to drink, which is not all fish at all fish related, but it's whiskey and seltzer.
Whiskey salsa. 7-7. That sounds like you, right? You get order
Well,
7-7s?
Yeah, sometimes. More like, or I like bourbon just on the rocks.
Aquatic Jack asks, do you still have the greenhouse going?
Yes. You know what's crazy is I went out there day before yesterday and I thought I had gotten all the shrimp and there's still more shrimp. Which
Still, this has been like the
unbelievable to me
90th time of more shrimp.
Everything in the yard is iced over.
I was going to say, what's the temp down there? Because it's been in the 30s and the 20s at night. tomorrow's gonna be
Mm.
50, which is strange, but it's gotta be
Yeah,
cold.
tomorrow it's supposed to be 60, but it's been well below freezing every day. Or overnight, I should say. And the greenhouse temp when I get up in the morning is about 40. And I went out there a couple days ago because I still haven't like done anything with all that sensitive plant that I wanted to measure, but it's not dead yet. So and I looked into the bottom bins, and I've been using a pump to drain those bins out, and I saw shrimp, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, more?
Yeah, every time there's a post, there's more shrimp. They must have just like gone crazy town and bred in that greenhouse.
Well, I mean, I've drained the tub twice. I would have thought that, well, just goes to tell you the resilience.
Well, Select Pet or whatever asks Rachel, do you suggest a certain type of space heater or way to heat a basement fish room?
I think you need to look at your square footage and the differential, that sounded fancy, the differential of what sort of temperature you're trying to reach versus what the ambient is, and figure out if it's more cost effective to heat with a heater to raise it. For instance, in our house, we heat with wood, and we keep our house really warm. Like if it's not mid 70s, my kids are crying. And I know most people keep their house like high 60s or even lower. But in this house, my kids walk around in tank tops and shorts because that's what they like to do. And we heat with wood, and it's this really warm ambient warmth. So I just use a simple infrared heater in the fish room, set to 85. And it that's all I need to do. Now,
An
for
infrared
someone,
heater? Can you just expand on an infrared heater?
it's just one of the heater styles. It's the way that it directs the heat. I don't really know that I'm educated enough to
But I
go
mean,
to.
it's a space heater?
Yeah, it's a space heater, and you can set it to either temperature or the volume of space you want to heat. So I set it to the volume of space, and then it has a timer or an internal setting that when it falls below that thermostat reading, it kicks on.
That's
So I
awesome.
keep it at 85 Fahrenheit.
I have a few things in my basement I keep at 74 with a space heater. Rotating. I mean, it's just like, what's that? Oscillating, I guess you call it.
With that heater, the top row of the aquariums I have a warm side and a cool side. On the warm side, the top row is about 78, 79 degrees. The middle row is about 76 degrees. The bottom row is about 75 degrees. The more further tanks are all about 75. And then around the corner where the cool water stuff is, it's about 72 without heaters all year round.
My basement is running cold right now. It's about,
My husband's hiding. Come here. Come here.
Come say hi.
Here. Come say hi. You've been called out. Nope. He's hiding. Come on. He says no. Sorry, guys.
No. He needs to grab a beer and come sit down. Then
That's
we can
what
learn
I
about
said.
Rachel's husband. Come on.
There's no disrespect to you, Mr. Mass.
Did you hear him? He said it's no disrespect to you, Mr. Mess. People are saying hi, Chris.
Hello.
Sorry, guys.
The man, the myth. Oh, look at that. The first super chat hey, that's because your husband just came in the video. There's a super chat. Brian left a super chat. He has no question, but he has a super chat. Now, Brian has started the super chat chain, and the only way it's going to continue
is if Chris comes in.
Is if Chris, Rachel's husband, Rachel's hubby comes and chats and tell us
I have to tell you, he gives zero fucks. Pardon my French, but he gives zero fucks about that. But he's crawling across the floor.
Well, You should tell Chris, since you've met me, you know I give 0 fucks about just about anything. So you should
Chris,
get his
what you
ass
don't know is you
up to the
crawling was
table.
on the video.
You're fucking kidding me.
and tell him to get up to the table and let's find out the man behind the fish pimp. That would be a great interview. I have questions, plenty of them. Chris, get your
I'm so
ass up
sorry.
here.
I need
Come
a
on.
moment. Oh.
Julian has left a $5 super chat. Thank you, Julian. Tell Chris to get his ass in front of the camera. We've got Harvey Cronkite type interview happening.
They're getting the money out of here. I'm so sorry. This chat, I'm snorting too. This
All right,
chat is
now there's
totally,
96
totally
people
real.
watching Chris's ass crawl across the kitchen. So we've got talks for I haven't even looked at the chat. All I know is we need Chris to get up here. We've got fish pimp's husband questions. No, not gonna happen, is it? He's way over.
It is not going to happen. I think he's pretty unhappy.
Oh, we have. Oh, tell your husband that Dolly Vigil has just donated $1.99 for knee pads for Chris's crawling.
Would my older daughter work as a substitute?
Of course.
How's my hair, Mom?
Oh,
Lovely.
pull a chair over. This is
can,
Abigail.
I can definitely rate it down.
She just fell.
Okay, your oldest daughter's name is Clell?
Abigail.
Abigail.
Yeah. This is the diver.
Oh, you didn't see me.
Okay, I have one question, Abigail.
All right.
This may be inappropriate, but I have to ask you. The picture I saw on Facebook with your diving coach, is that bathing suit a little too small?
No. No, it's not. No such thing.
It literally almost looked like he was wearing an elastic band that you would put a pony in.
Look at both of us left. So we're watching the chat delayed, and that was hilarious. They wanted to have a little disruption, I suppose, in the
Which
water.
picture is it?
You and Michael Hickson.
Oh, I thought he was talking about a picture of Rusty.
No, they're talking
No,
about Michael Hickson.
The Speedo's not that bad. All the guys
It's
wear
pretty
Speedos.
tiny.
All the guys wear Speedos.
Look, they're super chat because of you.
But I watched all your mom's Instagram and Facebook posts of you diving, and it was super awesome. The one that where you jump like 3 or 4 times before you even actually get to the end of the diving board, and then you do that back thing, that was amazing. Super cool.
When you're learning your back twister.
Oh, I was like, I'm glad you can do
See,
that.
I can decipher parent talk.
You'll have to show them the videos I put on Facebook of my dives last night. Because those ones are better than the ones from the clinic.
So it's super exciting, you guys, and what's going to make it really hard for me to do anything particularly exciting fish-wise is that this one's on the USA diving team. So
That is slow clap. Come on. Let's get the slow clap.
you can join us too. Do you guys want my other daughter to join us too?
Oh my god, I look like a trash gremlin right now.
Well, Daddy crawled out of the room and it was caught on camera, so it's up to you if you want to be a part of this or not.
Yes, we have a whole new thing going out called hashtag Chris's
I
ass.
don't want to see it.
You're gonna
We're gonna
show up
blast
here
it all over
shortly.
I'm afraid. I hope you can't
Look,
see
there
me.
you are.
I hate myself.
Sorry, guys.
I hate myself so much.
Welcome
No.
to my life.
Mom, I just
Oh
want-
goodness, get some pants on, girl.
Does it say gremlin in there?
We heard nothing. I'm so sorry.
Oh no. You know what's super weird is I can watch the Google thing way down on the left, but then I'm watching the other thing way up here, and I have no clue. It's like so backwards.
Look, there's Chloe. That's the same thing I'm going through, Mike. I don't know which is accurate. This is the accurate timeline.
Yeah, the one down on the left, right? Or mine's down on the left. Yours is probably on the right because you escape everything right to left.
Not everything, just a lot of things. And that's because I told you, like, what I'm trying to do in my fish room is have it be like an undulating rhythm throughout the fish room. So it's actually a really hard challenge for me to reverse how I escape.
Your daughter's doing some sort of contemporary, so you think he can dance.
Ew. No, I
And now
asked
she's
Chloe, I was
wet
like,
willying everybody.
No, that was almost a sibling kiss.
No, I just licked her face.
Oh.
I'm a bit greasy, so that
I
probably
know it
tasted
tastes
really
like sausage.
Oh, here's a good question. Otter Creek asks, do your kids keep fish or
No.
have their
No,
own
I
tanks in their
tried.
fish room?
good. No.
I tried and I slaughtered them.
I kill my plants, so I mean.
Like, I want to say this actually. I tried to keep fish and I was really bad at it.
They like to travel with me and attend lecturers. I'm
Lecturers?
happy. Lecturers?
That's so boring.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, people who lecture.
I want to cry.
So we have no fish keepers, no plant keepers.
I'm a plant keeper. Mine are alive.
She is a plant
I
keeper.
have plastic
I've-
plants.
She's
killed
killed
some.
every plant I've ever given her.
I
Including
have-
air plants and aloe.
What do I have now? I have a Christmas cactus.
You have
and a bamboo-
succulents. You have cacti. Did you kill the Fredericks?
Oh no, I do have the Fredericks.
The Fredericks
Okay.
are succulent.
I was like-
I did a whole video dedicated to the Fredericks. Sorry,
This
guys.
right now, we have
I had a
three
moment there.
Do you want me to go get it and show you?
Go,
Full of
she's
Rachel's.
gonna go get her succulent. And I'll have to tell you guys, this is a plant that we picked out at like Home Depot or Lowe's because she liked it, and then she planted it in my outdoor succulent garden. But it's a tropical, so it won't survive the like winter here. So we had to move it back in. So I gave, while it was outside, of course, I managed to propagate it. So I gave one to her and one to her boyfriend, and they are producing babies like gangbusters. So it's been
that's cool.
super awesome.
I just
and-
I just leaned in like as if I
You
was
seen
looking
it,
at
Mike?
Here, is that better?
And someone mentioned them aquascaping on the aquascaping
Oh,
team.
we
And the
found
thing
that.
is like Abigail's done scapes that we've sold. Clelia's done scapes that we've sold. They're both really, really talented at the artistry, but our house is pretty tiny and they don't really have room in their rooms, and they're like Abigail trains 2 to 3 times a day. Clelia does winter guard, color guard, and softball. I mean, these aren't kids that are like looking for something to do.
I look for more Netflix time. Other than that.
You know, I mean, I'm hoping that when they turn into like 35-year-old moms, they're like, oh, we should get a fish tank. And they'll remember all this stuff. Is what it is.
maybe their kids will be like, hey, grandma had a fish tank. Let's do this.
All their friends at school think I'm cool.
Come here. Pepper.
What is
Pepper
that?
wants to be in the live stream as well. I'm not sure if she's going to jump up right here.
That sounded like a baby.
Yeah, that's Pepper Elizabeth. That's my editor.
Hey,
She's being difficult because Abby's in my seat.
come here.
Pepper Elizabeth. That's a
You give our
pretty
cats
fun-
middle names.
Why are you not listening to me?
Mabel was sitting with me.
15-year-old Matt, good job. You're the same age as
Where do you see that?
most of my kids
Oh,
right here.
there. I'm 15. I'll be 16.
All
What's
right,
really neat
there
is our public high school does a fish program.
over 100 people
Starts in middle
watching.
school.
I need a beer, so someone needs to ask Rachel a question that it will be a long answer. Like at least 27 seconds.
Go color guard. Yeah, that's right. Clelia went upstairs. But she does color guard and winter guard. Do endlers eat plants? Generally, no. I would imagine that pretty much any fish that's opportunistic, if your plants are super unhealthy, though, are gonna take a nibble. For the most part, they don't mess with them. But there's no guarantees. I'm trying to convince Pepper to come in my lap for you guys, but she's being difficult.
Yeah, get her
She's
up
like,
on the
I'm
table.
a diva. She's gonna be like Chris and crawl out of the room.
Oh, Mabel, come here. Why did you just run next?
Mike,
I
this
would
is your
absolutely
opportunity to go get a
love to
beer.
interview Chris. That would be friggin'
Good
amazing.
luck, man. I've managed to get him on my channel a few times, and we've been married for 20 years.
Oh, I don't want cat butt in my face.
I think you guys should ask my kids questions. Do you want to sit down for a minute?
Yeah, I do. I want maybe.
Hey, this is your guys' one and only opportunity to ask the O'Leary girls
Oh God,
questions.
I have such a headache.
Your
right
knee
now.
just like
They're
popped
gonna
on
be.
my.
They're gonna be like, "What's your middle name?" And I'm gonna be like, Frederick.
My Frederick
Oh,
is in
there's the cat.
So the chat is on the right. The actual time is on the left.
Okay. All
It
I
has
need
to
are
be-
fish questions.
Let's get one thing straight. It has to be pet, i.e., cat, dog, chicken, fish, hamster.
Snake.
You know the deal. Anything related to
Oh, I
that.
can answer this one.
What's
My
your
favorite dive.
Okay.
Well, it depends.
Loser.
I like front 2.5 on 1 meter, or on 3 meter. I like. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my.
Or on 3 meter, I like back 1.5 half.
Hey, let me ask you questions.
Yes,
You're
I'm
the
scared
only
of the
good one.
heights. But it's not like I'm not scared of the height. I'm scared of hitting the water from the height.
Those dinosaurs.
Pushed mom right out.
you like how they treat me? I didn't push her. I just slapped her butt.
Can you please put your knee down? You're
I have big legs. Okay, woman.
What's the most embarrassing?
Oh,
Oh, that's
she
for
already left,
mom.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't ask how a snake is doing. We don't talk. No, we don't talk. Abby,
It's
I'm not
doing
kidding.
fantastic.
We don't talk
Did
about
you ever
that.
find the snake? No. No, we did not. What pets do kids keep these days?
No.
We have 3 cats and 4 or 5 chickens.
4. You're counting some
Yep.
part.
Do the kids will try to come over to meet your aunt? Sometimes.
We've had people come over. and
We've
be
also
like,
had a bunch of really creepy people like pull up our driveway and just be like, "Can we see your mom?" We're like,
yeah.
"No."
No, so a lot of people are like, "Hey, can your mom hook me up with fish?"
And we're
And
like,
I'm like, "If you
"No."
got money."
That is actually a great topic. So, do you think your mom's famous? And how many people approach you if they know your mom in town?
I hate that question.
Like, I'm sure it's
because
in town.
I think she's like kind of famous, but like
She's
people
famous.
literally approach us.
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna like be like, "Congrats on your mom's subscribers. Can I meet her?" And I'm like,
no, like I know she's famous, but like I know she's not like famous. She's like fish famous. Like not to
Yeah.
be like mean.
She's
like,
not like
love
a
your mom.
she's not like a Hollywood celebrity, but she's
But, like,
fish famous.
people do approach us. Like especially when we go to pet stores. Like people come up all the time when we're at pet stores. Like I haven't gone to a pet store with her in years without somebody
Yeah.
being like, "Hi, Rachel," and I'm like, "I don't know you."
Or like I was in Rutgers last year and we were sitting at the bar. Well, I wasn't sitting at the
Oh,
bar.
I
Mom
feed the
was sitting
chicken,
at
by the
the
way.
bar. And some lady just runs up out of nowhere and was like, "Ah!"
Oh,
Kind of what happened,
somebody
though.
asked me about color guard, guys. Nobody ever does that. My favorite part about color guard, I made the varsity guard team this year. My favorite part is doing the groundwork dance choreography because it's so much fun and like I love doing the flag work too, but like I hit myself too much, so like the dancing is. Hi, mother. I love that somebody asked me about color guard. You're my favorite, Caden McFarland.
I thought you were gonna say.
What? I'm actually so happy. Nobody likes me.
I'm
on
sorry
this.
we hijacked Mike.
It's hijacked.
Mabel, come here. Why is she
Can you
running
hand me my
faster?
glasses so I can see the chat?
Look, it's a fish famous is famous. Don't hate girls because she's more popular. I love that.
Is that better?
You're moving the camera too. Can I have my
Oh,
glasses?
Girls, your mom is
Sorry,
like
guys,
a
I'm
million
40.
times
I
more
need to
popular
realize-
than me.
Still has her color guard flag.
Your mom would be like friggin' Angelina Jolie, and I'm like, that guy in the movie that gets eaten by the shark or something.
Sorry, bro.
I think I'm hardly Angelina Jolie.
We're not. I'm not jealous that my mom has a fan following because it's like I don't care. Like, no offense.
Here's the thing. What you guys have to understand is all my kids have ever known is my fish fame, and it's really not that special.
Chloe, what's color guard?
Color Guard
Thank
is
you,
like
Carol.
a competitive dance
Your
team
eyebrows
that's
closed.
kind of, we use like flags and stuff. So like, you know how like people like march in marching band and they're the girls and they put them to flags. Well, the indoor Color Guard team is basically that, but like with more dance elements. So
I have not been up this late.
It's a pretty competitive thing. It's like on par with gymnastics and cheer, as far as like the artistry and stuff like that. It's kind of neat.
yeah, it is. I need to go to
See what
bed.
I deal with?
Yo, really? That's so awesome. I can't do rifle because I suck, but like that's really cool.
You should,
oh god.
you should read what you're
All right,
responding to.
I got a question for the girls
Okay.
before I have to go grab another beer. Is your color guard Aquapella? I love the movie Pitch Perfect. All of
I'm
them.
leaving.
Do you guys like them, or is it like that's like not cool?
I love Pitch Perfect. Pitch Perfect. I hate that question. It's not even singing though.
Pitch Perfect is
Why
hilarious.
are you laughing so hard?
Because
What
that
type of drink are you on?
that was a crazy question.
Bottoms up. No.
All right, girls. Do you guys like Pitch Perfect or what?
Yes. We like that.
Oh.
Why
Thank
would
goodness.
you not like Pitch Perfect?
Seriously.
I think
we
Rebel
just-
Wilson's very funny.
Me and my wife just went to watch A Star Is Born, the new one. Oh my
I
god.
haven't seen
I
that
got
yet.
killed that.
We just saw Deadpool 2 though, so like
Somebody just asked what our goals are for the next year. What's your goals for next year, Mom?
My goals?
Oh god,
Yes,
are you gonna
now
go on
all
45
three of
minutes?
you go over your goals because I need like a minute to go grab a beer.
Go
Okay,
grab
go.
a beer because I can talk for a
Goals.
while about
Yeah,
this.
she really can.
I have a lot of goals. Number one, I want.
You guys are yelling.
Yeah, I have a headache, Mom. You're killing me, Smalls.
Do you see what I deal with? Number one, I want to finish my next book. I need to do a follow-up on my nano book. I want it to be a more comprehensive, just guide to what I think is really cool about fish keeping, and it will include, you know, summer tubbing and just more than just nano, and also really most importantly redefining nano, like keeping small fish in bigger aquariums. I really want to explore some new companies that I think are up and coming and that maybe aren't being recognized. I want to really encourage people to be less intimidated by plants and by materials. So I have a lot of goals as far as that. And I have, I think, maybe 20 or so tanks to redo in the fish room in order to sort of show what I mean. I want to really encourage people to do more geographical stocking, which means like biotype, not biotope, sort of like regional stocking. And I really want to buy my daughter a car
I'm excited.
and
for
get
that.
her license. And I really want to see my daughter thrive in winter guard. Thrive in winter guard. You know, I just want everything to be like way better for us personally.
2018 was so bad.
2018 was pretty rough for our family.
We don't talk. We don't mention.
This year was not one for the record books. So the goal
Well,
is
for like how bad of a year it was pretty high.
Pretty up there.
well, we have 1 month to go before we get our restart.
30 days.
All right, now we all need to get in a car accident and the year will be complete.
Right?
And this is
Me and
why
Mom were in
your
cl-
children are not in live streams.
I told some people on my Discord server, they were like, oh, your mom's live streaming? What's her YouTube? And I was like, so if somebody comes on here and they're like, hey, Dud Milkman, that's me.
And this is on Mike's.
It can only go. Yep.
How long was that?
You know,
Like
like we've
forever?
been through some stuff. These kids have been through some stuff. We have no family. We have only each other. And this year has been a real test
On my patience.
to like having a very, very small nuclear family. We literally don't have any other families. So when the ones in our personal home are so
Sorry.
tested, it gets really tough. And I'm super proud.
Mass went to the store for the beer. Sorry, that's funny.
That would
He had to
seem
get
like
that
I drove to
toothpick,
the
man.
store for that beer, didn't I,
He
girls?
only had square toothpicks. He needed round.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I had to go carve my own toothpicks out.
Right there.
It is so
It's-
cool.
it's-
Like seeing
it's
you
not-
three right there is like the perfect video.
Look, they're
With mom
happy.
in the middle and the girls on the side.
No, I'm
Where
just really
is
confused. How can
your
I pick this one?
dad's ass? We need him to get into the right
Oh,
into the
is
living
there a
room,
clip here?
the
I
kitchen.
think Dad might be kind of mad at me that he was.
Crawling on the floor. I wish I was that.
I think I remember our
It's
interview,
like-
Rach, where
Watch live stream.
he was definitely crawling on the floor the last time too.
Well, you can sit in the back then. I can sit next to mom.
I feel so bad for my husband because his heart
Oh, do you
is.
see her? Oh, you can't see her fancy picture.
Oh, I am wearing pajamas. I do apologize to Mike tonight. I am 100% in my pajamas, and I am sorry, guys. But
It's okay. I told Rachel today I've been in my PJ since 2:00, which I have been.
so my husband shared this meme with me the other day about reindeer. Do you hear my daughter? This is why life is so hard for me. That was like every time a reindeer walks, like they click, their joints click.
So do I. No, it's their hooves on the ground or something like that.
No, it's
It's
everything
joints.
about them. They click because that's how they find each other in the snowy environment. My husband sent me a meme that's like, "You're a reindeer," because my knee is so loud. Right?
Yeah, it just clicked in.
Oh my god, I literally need water. I'm sorry.
Well, what's it made out of?
Titanium.
Bones.
Yeah.
It's not made out of bones. Well,
I'm
This
sorry.
is my life.
I'm sorry.
oh look, there's pieces.
Oh, I just need to-
Hey, your fridge has an ice maker. You're rich.
Yeah, but our stove is fucking janky.
When I was a kid, any one of my friends that had an ice maker in their fridge, I was like, oh my God, you must be so rich.
So here's the
awesome.
funny thing. We got that fridge because when I had my first knee surgery when we moved here, which
Which
was, oh gosh, it must have been
I was like, what?
2005, I guess, maybe.
I think it was 3.
We were living here and I had a partial knee replacement then, and Abigail was 5 and Clelia was 4. And
Yes.
I had to take care of them after my knee replacement, and our fridge died in the middle of the day, which meant I didn't have ice. They didn't have food. We had nothing. And these guys actually carried all the food from the refrigerator and the freezer down to the basement, which wasn't a fish room yet, and packed it in coolers because I couldn't even walk yet. And then we went and we bought a display model off the floor at Lowe's once Chris came home to drive us around. So super glamorous why we have that ice maker. But I was like, hey man, if my cripple status is gonna get us a new refrigerator, it might as well be one that's highfalutin.
Yeah, seriously.
I still was a mark half the time.
One person, Otter Creek, has a comment. Rachel, does 100K feel like 99,999 or better? And then right on top of that is, hey, my Nana clicks when she walks too.
So
I'm sorry, my laugh is out of control. My children are embarrassed. This is the true mom laugh. I'm so sorry. I want to hang out with your Nana. we can like click our knitting needles in our knees.
Mom, you don't knit. So
That
with
was
the 99,999, we were sitting at dinner and Mom was sitting there like waiting for it to hit.
You guys
so-
were at because you guys were in UMass.
We were in
When-
Massachusetts. To old and crusty.
How did you guys like Massachusetts besides getting in a car accident?
I love it. I love Massachusetts. My only complaint is that it's like 6 degrees all the time. Not about the cold. I'd rather go to UNC, but it's fine.
It's not that cold all the time.
I can't bend that much.
Amazing summers,
Well, we were up
absolutely
in Maine,
beautiful
so
falls.
in the summer.
I love Mass. I love New England. I love Mass.
I love the United States.
USA.
Mom, you
So, what you guys are missing.
You guys are truly silly.
So, Austin, my boyfriend, is on the football team, so I had to sit and watch every football game. And
As
for,
did her mother.
and for the national,
Not for me, who was in the
Shush.
football games. Okay.
so every time that we had the national anthems, the or the cheerleaders, I'm gonna demonstrate. They stand in a row and then they go every single time. It's like the funniest thing ever.
I don't know why I found it so funny, but
I was like, Mom, you're gonna get shot if you
So
continue
your
doing
boyfriend is the one that made gingerbread houses. Where are those
Yes.
houses?
Yes. They didn't taste very good. No.
they did not taste very
They're from Five Below, so I
so
mean,
much icing.
I freaking hurt myself reenacting the cheerleader.
The weirdest thing is like trying to watch the chat and then trying to watch what's really
Well, I
happening.
know,
And
that's
then
what I
you try
just
to watch
looked
them at the
over.
same time. And it's like going the
Dude,
same
all you guys see is my wrinkles and my old ladiness.
Hey, at
'cause
least
I'm
you
in
have good
my
eyebrows.
pajamas.
At least you have
Look, Clelia did my eyebrows. She gets full credit.
Where's the eyebrows? Let's see. I got a unibrow. We'll get it real close.
I got you,
go-
Pam. Hit me up.
Oh, she can fix you.
Yeah, I want me an esthetician. My boyfriend
yeah.
still let me do his eyebrows. So.
Shave it off as quick as I can. What's this? Is this the new dab? This
No,
thing?
no.
Like
Look,
this.
they're-
I keep seeing this.
They're taking pictures with your live stream, right?
My Discord has to know I'm popular. Well, no, someone said, when is Mom's next video? And I said, she's live streaming. She's on a live stream.
Yeah, you got the girls
I
spreading
don't
spreading
bend
the word.
that well. I can't help it.
It's just.
I don't. My children are complaining that my legs don't
Her
bend well
dogs
enough.
are touching me.
Your mom has a fake knee. Then it's not gonna bend at all.
Been better than like if it's like you're a partial cyborg and you don't work as well as the rest of us. What is wrong with you?
Actually,
That's what
a
I'm saying.
cyborg is not that bad at all to be called. That's probably like,
That's a
one of the
cooler
best things to
cyborg.
be called at this point is a cyborg.
My
They
Nana
think-
has a bit of a beard.
They think my husband's cooler with his fake eye and missing toes. My knee's just kind of annoying.
It's just loud.
The black eye is definitely really cool looking. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty awesome. I mean, it would suck to not have an eye, but if you didn't
I mean, he's
have the
also
eye,
missing toes and other things.
the black eye would be great. So I come from a family that is missing a ton of stuff through chainsaws. So that's why
Rewind.
I try not to use the
Sorry,
chainsaw that often. So if you want to hashtag girls, hey girls, hashtag chainsaw in the live stream. Come on, Twitter it, do whatever you need to do. I know you guys are right there.
Hashtag
If this
chainsaw.
doesn't get me a million Instagram
My dad
followers,
has
it's
no teeth; they're all fake. He's got
Wait, from
into
a
a chainsaw
chainsaw?
From a
accident with his
chainsaw?
mom. My uncle has missing fingers from chainsaws, like probably like maybe 5 out of 10 fingers he's missing.
May I interrupt briefly?
Okay, what do you got to say?
I want to say that Mike suggested to us that I buy the kindling cracker. And I have to tell you, my husband's been making kindling for us for almost 20 years. He's never cut himself. He used the kindling cracker. And he almost lost a finger. We love it, but I thought it was so ironic.
There's no way he almost lost a finger with that. How is that even possible?
Ooh.
Seriously?
Yeah, dude,
That's
it was pretty hilarious.
the anti-lose finger machine.
Well,
We love
apparently
it though. I'm gonna make them use it.
No, you're not. Funny. Do you know how accident prone I am? I can sleep in my elbow walking across the deck.
This, you just take a sledgehammer and smack
Dad almost
wood.
lost a finger, Mom.
I
this
almost
is
lost my entire. Well, all my family has lost fingers through some sort of blade or some
chainsaw accident.
chainsaw accidents, hatchets. It's like a family tradition. Hopefully my kids don't lose any fingers. I haven't yet. I almost did.
I have
But-
all my digits still.
Oh, can't relate.
The kindling cracker is the shit. I will.
I love it.
I need them to sponsor me. I need Bud Light and Kindling Cracker.
But not at the same time.
No, absolutely at the same time.
See, if Bud Light sponsored me,
You need them to do a challenge. You need them to say, how many Bud Lights can you drink with the kindling cracker?
And chop kindling and never cut your finger off. A challenge right there. Boom. Thank you, Aaron Pittman. I appreciate that. Hashtag chainsaw. This is the best video stream. We got Rachel. We got Rachel's daughters in the house answering all sorts of fun questions.
Mike,
Yes.
Abigail wants to know how they lost their teeth from a chainsaw.
Okay. Ready? Let me
Yeah.
tell this story. This is a great story. Actually, not for my dad, but for me because I get to listen to it. So, when my dad was 18, he was dating my mom. He worked for his father for a landscaping company. He was zipping up some trees, budding some trees. They come down. You have to cut them in 16-inch sections. And he hit a knot. And this was in, my dad was born in 1955. So this was probably in the 70s. He hit a knot. The chainsaw jumped back, jumped down his face, jumped over like his heart area, down his belly, down his leg. He got like 1 trillion stitches. He has all fake teeth. Still as handsome as ever. He looks like me, except like 30 years older. But it's super funny because when I was your age or a little bit younger, I used to have sleepovers and he used to take out his teeth and scare everybody. He'd just come downstairs and be like, "What are you guys doing?" Whoa, 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 whoa. With like one tooth here and one tooth here. It was the funniest thing. One kid, my buddy, Jeff Thomas, when we were like 15 years old, actually called his mother. He had to go home because my dad scared the shit out of him. He's got all fake teeth. And this is like new stuff. This is just old bridges where they're like made out of metal and you like shove them in there. And then you're like, "Hey, check this out." And you just like take it out and you have like one tooth left. Well, that happened. So the reason why I love to tell that story is because he got blitzed with a chainsaw and then I'm here.
I'm sorry, I need a moment.
So he lived and he got busted up. Then his brother, my Uncle Jimmy, lost like 7 fingers through a chainsaw. So
Uncle Jimmy, not Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy, he lost all his fingers to a chainsaw. But he's an awesome golfer, which is weird too because when he holds a golf club, it's like he's got no fingers, so it's like weird how you hold it with no fingers. Anyway, that's the chainsaw story, girls.
That's funny. Yeah, I think.
I think
enjoyed it.
your family needs to stay away from chainsaws.
Yes, but my dad and my uncle still use chainsaws, which is crazy. He comes over the house whenever we need a tree.
Electric or gas?
Or both.
Gas. Whenever he needs a tree taken, whenever the other day, we built a new roof for the wood rack. One of my wood racks. I have several freaking giant wood racks because I love to burn wood. That's what I was doing, by the way. I didn't go to the packy to get beers. I went to put wood on the fire and grab it.
Packy to get
The
beers.
what?
The packy.
What's that?
It's like a store.
Oh.
You like
It's a liquor store.
need my kid in the ass.
We'll
My
teach
friends
you
told
the
me
New
once
England lingo. So when you go up to UMass and go to college and become a professional diver on the Olympics, you'll know how to talk
Can't
to
relate.
Massachusetts.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I don't like the cold, so I probably won't go to UMass.
Oh, that's a shame.
I
UMass
like the coast.
is going to be sad that they have not going to have you for our student.
I am encouraging her to look at the Carolinas and Florida.
Yeah, mom's
'Cause
got a
my
bum
knee-
knee.
You could move to
She's got to go down south
We
to
could be
warm weather.
friends. My knee like clicks so loud.
Why are we back on this topic?
Well, I mean, you just heard it. All I did was like shift my legs, and it's
UMass is a great school, except for it's like 6 degrees there, and I'm not a fan. You're going to miss the best. What's the best place to get pancakes?
They're
My
talking about
house.
the place you want. What?
My house is the best place to
Oh,
get
the girls are still reading the chat. That's good. I have not read the chat in a good probably 15 minutes. I'm being a terrible
contributes a lot
host.
to my Instagram, so
No.
you should read hers.
No, I find it so funny that people are asking like real legitimate like
Or,
fish
like, nothing
questions, and we're
going
like,
on.
my mom clicks when she walks, and so is that person's Nana.
Sorry, guys.
All right, girls. The girls have taken over the chat. Let them take over the chat and answer the questions.
Okay. Gold sugar. That's not a question. I'm freaking stupid.
They can ask her. Ask her. They can ask her.
We can answer them. We know some stuff.
They know a lot about their mom.
Good job. Unfortunately.
Popsicle says
I
there are
like
some
the-
great pancakes in Massachusetts. So
You know
there
what else
have
is a
that.
great place to get pancakes? Our house. I make.
Mom,
good
what's the
pancakes.
fastest way to cycle a tank? I don't know
With
this.
a bicycle.
Cycled media.
Cycled
Yeah.
media.
All day.
We knew that answer.
Tell them, girls. Cycle.
Discus.
Double kiss.
Discus all day
Yeah.
long. I do not like angelfish.
Pancakes.
Waffles.
What did Chris just say?
Oh,
I heard something.
Morgan.
Bye.
Mom, it's Morgan. Hi,
What do you
Morgan.
say?
Guys, Dad has work tomorrow. You guys know that.
Doesn't
No, he doesn't. It's Sunday.
Oh, so funny story.
So
Morgan.
Morgan is one of Abby's friends from school who I just bought some fierce
They
ass
got me blushing.
fuck fingerless gloves.
Are you gonna spoil her present?
We
You
already
told
did.
her. I
Oh,
already sent
okay.
Pictures of it.
I was like,
So hi, Morgan.
I love her. She sits with us every Friday night at the high school football games.
Yeah.
She's the bestest ever.
And she's
I
a
love
ginger.
football.
I don't understand it much.
Is your boyfriend, what position does he play?
He plays both offense and
Yeah.
defense, but he's best at defense. Someone just asked, and I want my kids to answer this. How strict is your mom?
very. Honestly, like, I feel like, I don't know. She's pretty strict.
Like,
She's pretty strict.
she's
They have to turn their phones in every night,
At
their computers
9:30.
in every night. I have parental controls over their social media apps. They're not allowed to have social media that they're not friends with me with.
Yeah,
If
so
they
my
want to
mom
hang
has
out with
Snapchat.
friends, they have to come to my house first.
I hate it.
I'm pretty strict, despite my avant-garde sort of look.
You brag about it. You're like, I'm so strict, and I'm like, I literally am moving out right now.
It's fine. It's fine. We're
I
living.
mean, but we also have really great communication and talk about things that I think most parents and children don't talk about. And we're not going to go into details because I don't really want to humiliate my daughters right now, but kind of everything in life we talk about. So I'm equal parts proud of our level of communication and also ready to drop the freaking tattooed fists.
Yeah.
Oh, I
mine are
thought you were gonna
tattooed.
say you're rated less, got tattoos, and I was like, yeah.
When I'm 16.
Yes. A wonderful
Well.
mother who tries to be friends and
No,
needs to
I
lay
don't
loose
try to be
back.
friends.
You girls will appreciate that when you're older
Exactly.
and you're raising your own kids.
I miss
I
my
try
mom's
and
mohawk.
be 100% transparent about my expectations, my disappointment, and if they meet the goals that I want, they are 100% can do whatever they want. If they are not meeting what I need, then things are problematic.
Guys, somebody just asked what we think about mom's mohawk. I miss your mohawk so much.
Oh,
I liked it.
I miss it. It was my
Yeah.
favorite.
I like this
My
more,
friends
though.
the only way my teachers remembers me is because they were like, your mom had the mohawk. Oh yeah, we're getting tattoos. I'm getting tattoos as soon as I'm legally able to. Yep.
What's kind of messed up is that pediatricians have asked us if I'm getting my kids tattooed at 13. I'm like, no.
Mom
Well,
said
do
when I'm
girls want
16, I
tattoos?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
have like my whole body mapped out already.
They're painful. It
Yes.
hurts.
Thanks for that. I was
So does
I
like.
didn't even know.
Oh my.
I mean, I am.
What the?
One thing that Abby,
She's the wise ass, isn't she? I can see.
One thing Abby and I, and actually Clelia too, but really Abby has really said she wants to sort of travel the world with her mom. You haven't said you want to do that. I would love for you to come too, but Abigail wants to travel the world with her mom, and what she wants is to get like a giant map of the world on her back, and then every place we go, she wants filled in. And I think that's kind of neat. But that's not going to start until she's done high school, because we can't travel like that until she's done high
And I'm
school.
in college. You think I'm traveling during college?
Yeah, I
Julian
think
is
you are.
asking, do I have any tattoos? Which I do, but they're not visible.
I thought you were gonna say they are not.
Someone just asked if I have a fish tattoo.
Mom.
Dude, my entire back and both my arms are fish
I almost said
tattoos.
you should show them.
Oh, that was
like,
Greg. I'm not taking off my clothes because I'm too highfalutin.
Since when?
Since always.
aqua balls. Yes.
I can
What?
turn like this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, friggin'
Baby can fit so much art
what's
on
his
it.
face.
Show them.
I can't even imagine. Brief Dude's ass wears it all over the place. I have a couple, just not, like this beautiful girl and her daughters, who will soon have a million tattoos.
Why are you shaking? Stop it.
I don't think I honestly don't think my kids will have a ton of tattoos, because to them it's like totally normal. I think they're probably going to get tattoos that are pretty cool. I think a lot of people get tattoos to get tattooed, and I think with them they already see that like it's really not that exciting. And if you want to get something on your body, in my mind at least, it should be something that matters.
I'm such a bad kid. I'm like, I don't care. I literally just want tattoos because I think they're really cool art, like all over. Like
but that's how I get tattoos.
Yeah.
You're so much like your mother.
Like meaning
I'm so
doesn't
sorry.
matter to me as long as it's because like what's the point?
Well, but they're all a exact.
I don't know, because like I'm just thinking like what matters to me now probably isn't gonna be the same thing that matters to me then. So why care about meaning? Why not just get them like dope AF?
Which is why you have to wait until you're 18.
Just like your shirt.
That's why I don't get one at 16.
Yeah.
Festive AF.
Mine's better though, honestly. Oh, my first tattoo on this arm, I want a pinup sailor girl, and on the other one, I want a pinup mermaid. Mermaid for my mom.
Oh,
Yeah, mermaid for my
As
mom,
good as
sailor
that
for my
one?
dad.
see, I support.
Yeah,
There
and
you
I
go.
fuck.
Perfect.
Well, she's got to pay for it,
Yeah, I gotta get a job first. No one
and
hires
she's
me.
got to be 18. So whatever.
You don't have a job? Come
I'm
on.
14. I applied to so many places and nobody hires me because I'm like this big.
Oh no, you're 14. You don't need a job at 14. What is it? 16?
Yeah, but I need
probably.
money at 14.
I was getting closer to you, Abby.
Ow. That gave me the chills down my left leg only.
Left. Okay.
what I see is
I
that I
don't care
love is that
what
you
say about
girls
fishes. We're
are
doing what we want.
hanging with mom on Saturday night.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Now you're
that's
grabbing my boob.
amazing.
That's
And I hope my kids do the same when they're older.
Your
I
kids.
drag
You
them
know,
home.
there's nothing more in this life that I love than both of these creatures right here.
Creature. Wow. Okay. sis.
You are totally creatures. I can't even give you a quantifiable denomination of. Oh, that's so gross.
Oh,
Everything I've ever done in my whole life has been for these guys. And they have actually been there with me for every step of the way. Right? You
Mhm.
guys have been to fish shows. They've watched my fish room grow. They've had to deal with people coming to the house.
Like the creepy ones that we don't want. It's a.
I would rather not bring that up. There's nothing I'm more proud of than the growth that we've had as a family.
That right there is
Wanna go to bed?
100% worth it. All day. This is the quietest it's been. Shh.
My kids, that's why he said it back. Are you crazy? Go to bed, girls.
No.
Because you said you're done. Oh, you're not
All right.
done?
You guys want to be done? Let's be done. Because I want to get back to my recliner. But just seeing you girls with your mom has been super awesome. Because I'm a family guy. So I like to watch you guys get along.
Just wait
Ask
until
questions.
your kids as teenagers.
I only have 2 years left of high school, so I mean.
Oh.
Mom was crying when I started going to camps in 7th grade that I was leaving her.
Do you guys have? I want you guys to have like a super cool send off for your mom. No crying involved.
Are they going to kiss
Alright.
me?
Girls, they can do whatever they want. They can kiss you. This will be like
No,
your.
you got to hold it.
Hey, yeah, there you go. This will be like your mom's send off for all her videos for girls.
Mom, you're going to be dead next week. This is the last time we have to kiss you.
Aw, that's perfect.
You better capture that for your fucking thumbnail, dude.
Oh shit! I don't even know how to do that, man. You can't put me under that pressure.
Do it again, girls. Ooh, they're breathing in my ear. I just have to let you guys know this is not pleasant.
All right. Rachel, don't click off the thing, but everybody say goodbye to all the
children.
the dorky McGee's like myself and yourself out watching YouTube videos right now.
Thank you, girls, for joining us.
Thanks,
I really appreciate it.
No, you have to thank everybody, not your girls. Thank everybody
Well,
else.
I'm glad they're there, but
Thank you,
I'm
guys.
most importantly glad.
I'm sorry.
You see what I deal with?
Thank
I
you,
was
guys.
like, I'm most importantly glad.
All right, folks. This is Mike from Mass coming at you with Rachel and her awesome daughters saying good night. Good night.